Hello, Daniel Tiger. I am not set up yet. Hi, Ross Lynch. I'm good. Oh, okay. We are talking about cold deserts once I get everything squared away. Awesome. I need a new one. That's for sure. Mine is an old relic, but it works. Knock on wood. Whoa, I hit the wrong thing. I don't even know what I hit. Oh, well, that's even better. Mine will not be for free. Hello, hello. Okay. Give me a second. One second whilst I bring up. Oh, I love when I type and I leave words out. And this one's just all over the place. Okay, anyway. The way we're going to do this one is usually we would talk about generalizations. In this case, we're going to talk about each desert independently. Also, I am not discussing polar deserts in this live. Those will be done separately. So, with that in mind, we're going to get started. Also, this is not a complete script. As you may know, I've been struggling a little bit and I slept in today. I shouldn't have, but I did. So, we're going to go with that. I am not one of those YouTubers who believes that we should show a happy front even when that's not the case. I like to be a little bit more real. And if that means that I'm going through a depressed moment, I'm not going to hide that. So you get what you get. So with that being said, cold deserts are an interesting concept. Um, it's not really a concept because they are real, but if I mention the word desert to you, you're probably thinking cacti, rattlesnakes, the Sahara Desert, a hot desert. Cold deserts can be warm, but they are not. No. Russia, I don't think, has cold deserts. I don't know if the Gobi extends into there. I don't know about them having cold deserts. Yo, you want to crack? Um, you're weird, dude. I think. Um, so in the Gobi in January, it can drop to -7 degrees Celsius or 19.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's daytime. And by night, no, I don't know what that means. And I don't want to know what that means. Um, by daytime, or sorry, at night, it can drop to -20 degrees. um, Sorry, guys. I had to figure something out. So, again, the Gobi, -7 degrees. -7 degrees Celsius in January, 19.4 degrees Fahrenheit. By day, -20 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Fahrenheit at night. And those temperatures are -4 degrees at night. And those are the winter temperatures. In July, during the day, it can be 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit by day. And it can drop to -18 degrees Celsius or 0.4 degrees Fahrenheit at night. And that is in the summer. So it'll be 86 degrees during the day or 30 degrees during the day and -18 degrees or 0.4 degrees at night. So it gets cold, and that's during the summer. In the winter, the Gobi may get 2.7 inches of snow, and in the summer, only around 8 inches of rain. Not to mention, it's windy. And if you've ever been in Chicago during the winter, or any other windy city in the world, when it's really cold out and that wind is whipping, it makes it really, really cold. Now, this desert covers 500,000 miles. It also includes mountains, which is why you will find snow leopards within the Gobi Desert, black-tailed gazelle, Gobi vipers, Gobi brown bears, Gobi ibex, Bactrian camels, jerboas, golden eagle, Przewalski's horse, marbled polecat, Gobi big brown bat, and Saiga antelope. All live in the Gobi Desert. Now, in North America, we have the Great Basin Desert. It's a desert where there is relative low humidity with pretty sharp drops in temperatures. Between night and day, just like we saw in the Gobi. Are there caves in the desert? If there's mountains, there could be. Yes, rock crevices, buildings, or caves. It really doesn't say that they roost inside the caves, because it says the outer parts of caves, which is interesting. No, they don't mention caves. But in this case, it definitely says crevices and rocks. Outer parts of caves, possibly if there are buildings, which I don't know how many buildings there are in the Gobi Desert. But yeah. The Great Basin Desert, again, low humidity, pretty sharp drops in temperatures between night and day. And again, we're going to look at wintertime and summertime temps. In January, it can get to 41 degrees Fahrenheit, which seems awfully warm, or 5 degrees Celsius, and drop to 18 degrees Fahrenheit or 8 degrees Celsius. That is in the Great Basin Desert. Now in July, it can reach 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius and drop to 57 degrees Fahrenheit and 14 degrees Celsius in the summer. That is in, hold on, I am going to confirm. So this is a pretty substantial desert. It's going to include portions of Nevada, the western half of Utah, I believe I even saw parts of Idaho, parts of California. Ay. I'm going to verify. We're going to look at what the national park says about it, because okay. So they are in the rain shadows. I'll look and see if they're in the Badlands or in this desert. I don't know that. So they are in the rain shadow, which we'll talk about later. It is in the rain shadow of the Sierra Nevadas and the Cascade Mountains. And its primary vegetation is going to be sagebrush. which has a really cool smell to it. I don't know how to explain it. So the desert itself, a portion of Idaho, a small sliver of California, and a couple different places, and even into Oregon. So pretty good sized. Unfortunately, this doesn't cover how many miles it is. Well, I'm getting a lot of stuff that the also I don't think no. It's actually in a part of the Sonoran Desert. Palm Springs is in Southern California. So when we're talking the Great Basin Desert, no. What you were saying, if you aren't happy being in my live, leave. It's that simple. Nobody else seems to have a problem. Let's see if I can find. Nobody's forcing you to stay. Hey, David. I cannot find what I'm looking for. I do. Sorry, Dakota. Why am I getting everything but what I want today? This is actually the largest desert in the United States. Temperatures can soar. Then leave. I don't know why you're still here. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. So, 38 degrees Celsius in the summer. So it can reach possibly 100. Hold on, guys. Dakota, again, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your name. It depends on what you mean by fragmented. And temperatures can drop in the winter, I think is what they mean. To negative, so minus 20 or negative 20 degrees Celsius to minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. And they can get up to 150 millimeters of rain or 33 or 300 millimeters of precipitation per year. So that 300 that's about 11 inches of precipitation each year at the high end. So compared with where I live, we get around 38 inches of rain a year. There are cities in the Great Basin Desert and there are mountains in the Great Basin Desert. One of the Salt Lake City, Reno, Provo, Ogden, Cedar City. The Salt Lake City is actually on the eastern edge of the desert. So if you visit the Salt Lake, that sits in the desert. Reno is also on the western edge of that city. So that sort of talks about that area of it. I don't know why my nose is itching right now. That's really bad. When it comes to animals in the Great Basin Desert, there definitely are. Some of them are actually pretty good sized. There are pronghorn antelope. That is what I have seen the most. In places you might see Clark's nutcracker, which is a grayish, blackish songbird. Chipmunks, red-napped sapsuckers, mule deer, bighorn sheep, coyotes, bobcat, mountain lion, black-tailed jackrabbits, kangaroo rats, American badgers, elk, and Great Basin rattlesnakes. Can't forget that. Marmots, collared lizards, so there's even wild horses in the Great Basin Desert. Sage grouse, scorpions. Yeah, kangaroo rats, they look like little kangaroos. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. Oh, they only have one picture of them. That's annoying. I don't know if I just type in I'm trying to find a picture for you. One that I know I can show. Not in this desert. Those are Australian. I can't find a good picture. So that's sort of what they look like. There are rodents and they will literally hop like a kangaroo. Let me see. Hi, Daniel. I don't know. Okay. Now. Gotcha. Bye-bye. See if I can. My favorite animal in the if we're gonna talk about the Great Basin deserts, yep, and they do hop. You can also find pack rats, which are rats that like to hide stuff if they can. Marmots, which are basically a groundhog or woodchuck. There are bats in the Great Basin desert. Townsend's big-eared bat, and actually the Mexican three-tailed bat, which is kind of interesting. And I think probably there were also bison at one time. It is home to over 70% of all mammal species that occur in North America, which is interesting. So those are some of the animals that live in that area. Now, let's see. Are my rules am I asking too much? Um yeah, it goes Great Basin to the north, Mojave Desert, which is in between the Great Basin and the Mojave. And then the Mojave and the Sonoran are diagonal from each other. And then there is a gap between the Chihuahuan Desert, which is in Texas, and I don't know why, but I get these two states mixed up. I live here, and my geography is usually pretty decent. I think it's New Mexico. Oh no, I was right. Nope, it's Arizona. I was wrong. So no, you're fine. So it goes, it literally goes. So if you picture Utah, right? Utah, Nevada, portion of Oregon, California, and the Great Basin, part of Utah. Basically, the entire western part of Utah is all Great Basin Desert. And then it transitions to the Mojave in California, part of it anyway. And then the southern tip of California is the Sonoran Deserts into Arizona, the south, most of southern Arizona, and then in the southeastern portion of the state, you have a sliver of so it's California here, and then Arizona next to California. You go Utah. See if I can do this. I'm not a really good artist. Okay, so this is really bad. But you have Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and California. So the Great Basin is going to take this portion of Utah. My proportions are not right, by the way. Basically all of Nevada, for the most part. There are portions that are not. The Mojave, a sliver of the Great Basin is going to be in California. The Sonoran and the Chihuahuan deserts. So That's there. But they are not the only cold deserts. And I don't have a lot of time. So they include the Arctic and the Antarctica. Again, we're not covering them right now. Not going to cover them. The Patagonian Desert in South America. We'll cover it really briefly because I don't even know if so. It is the largest desert in the Americas. It is the 8th largest in the world. It goes from Argentina and into Chile. It is mostly gravel and sandstone rather than sand, which is different. It's actually formed by the Andes Mountain, which blocks the moist air from the Pacific Ocean. And so the rain sort of stops before it gets over the mountains. They have strong cold winds and temperatures that are often low even in the summer. So what you're going to find in this desert includes steppe, so treeless shrub and grasslands, gravel and sandstone, even sand dunes, glacial rivers, temperatures rarely exceed 12 degrees Celsius. It's okay. You're fine. So it doesn't get much warmer than 12 degrees Celsius or 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not a warm desert. It's truthfully a cold desert, probably the coldest one that we've looked at so far. And on the cold side, about 3 degrees Celsius or 37.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I don't know if that's as cold as it gets because that's from Wikipedia. I tend not to trust Wikipedia so much. Just because it doesn't say. see if I want climate. I'm not finding what I want. They do have fairly strong winds, so that is... Okay, this is what I want. So, maximum temperatures are going to be recorded maximum temperatures are 106 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit or 41 to 45 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperatures are 12 to 23 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 11 to negative 5 degrees Celsius. Average rainfall is going to be between 3.5 to 17 inches and or 90 to 430 millimeters. It says that winds are dry and cold. Let's see if I can get... Sometimes I can get... So, right now, today, we're going to get a weather report. And I apologize, this is in Fahrenheit. It is currently 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to drop to 49 degrees Fahrenheit. It has 68% humidity. So, and those are the highs. Saturday, it's going to be 40 at night, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to be 52 degrees by afternoon. And then sprinkles and overcast at night. So, they might get at most... This is the amount of rain that they're expecting tonight. It's going to be 0. And I'm bad with decimals. So basically almost no rain at all. And so animals you might see in the Patagonian desert include the puma or mountain lion, guanaco, which is a relative to the llama, Patagonian mara, which looks like a rodent with big legs, foxes, armadillos, which if you don't know what a lasseria is, it is a relative to the ostrich. So those are some of the more popular animals. That you're going to find there. So those this desert covers 200. This desert covers 260,000 square miles, or 673,000 square kilometers. And it stretches from the Andes Mountains to the west all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. I'm trying to see if I can figure out. So anyway, that's what I know about the cold deserts. Later tonight, we'll do hot deserts. I am going to get a video up today at some point. I ended up with a mistake and then a headache, and it was just too much. So I went to bed. I hope that lets you know a little bit about that desert, or the deserts that are cold. Get out there and do your own research. It's always fun. Yeah. I apologize. Does anybody think that it's bad form to ask people not to be rude? Am I off on that? Good, because I was worried. My phone has decided to drop messages again. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. Up here, then no, I guess I don't. So what's a crown headache? Yeah, it's the top of the head. Affects the top of the head. It feels like a tight band or pressure around the head. Tension headache. That's what it says here. A crown headache is a type of headache that affects the top of the head known as the crown. It can feel like a tight band or pressure around the head. Agreed. Ooh, Charlie horses. The worst pain I've had so far in my life has been the um lovely kidney stones. They're lovely. That's all I'm gonna say. It's new pain. Yep. Oh. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Um, I want to relax a little bit. So I will talk to you later. Um, bye, guys. Love you. See you in the next one, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time tonight.